What's going on, everybody? Master Trader and Master Swipe Trader Justin Adams here with another video. Today, we're going to be going over proper risk management and how to utilize this in managing your success with our Swipetrades application. So first things first, we actually just had a live trade, Euro JPY, that we're going to go over here, and how to calculate risk management with this and going forward and making sure that you're successful. You know, what is risk management? Risk management is basically making sure that you're not blowing accounts, making sure that you're not over leveraging, so on and so forth. So how can we do this the smartest way? Well, for an example, what we're going to do is we're going to do a $1,000 account, right? So we have $1,000 account. What you got to ask is, what am I willing to risk? Willing to risk, right? What am I willing to risk? What are you willing to risk? Ask yourself the same question. Am I willing to risk when I lose a trade? You got to think, when I go to lose a trade, am I willing to risk $20 in 1,000? Am I willing to lose $50 in 1,000? Am I willing to lose $100 in 1,000? This is going to get into your, ratios of what you want, pretty much percentages of what you want to lose per that $1,000. So if I had $1,000 here, right? Let's just type it in, $1,000. Let's say the average is 1 to maybe 5%, 5% being the high end of things. Maybe you want to be a high risk trader. Maybe that's up to 10% per trade. It's up to you. So the middle of the range I like to go an example with is around 3%, right? If I lose 3% on a trade, okay, I lose 3% on a trade. Now, what is 3%? And I'm not saying you need to do this, you need to follow 3%. I'm just saying, using this as an example. So again, example, 3% risk on $1,000, right? $1,000. So what does that equate to? Well, for one, we can take a calculator and we can type in 1,000 times 0.03, right? Will give us that 3% number, which is equal to $30. So now I can risk $30 per trade that I execute on my MetaTrader 4 per signal. So if I go and I see, let's just say Swipetrade says to use, let's do an example. Usually it's 0.03 per 1,000 is a 1% risk. Well, you want to risk 3%. So all you'd have to do in that situation, if it adds up, 0.03 times 3 is equal to your 0.09 would be your lot position size for one entry, actually for total. Now, what do I mean by total? Let's say we have 2 entries, right? This is where a lot of people, I believe, are coming into, a problem when there's a losing trade and they end up losing more than they should have initially. So 2 entries, right? If I had 2 entries, my entries would have to be a 0.04 for entry 1 and a 0.05 for entry 2. Why is that? Because I can only risk 0.09 total for that one trade, in this example, the Euro JPY. So let's go over this like we just got a swipe trade, right? So we're going to risk, I'm going to keep this one up, not this one. So 3% risk on 1,000. So we're going to risk $30. So with our Euro JPY right here, it caught an entry right here around 136 point, I think it was 050. Somewhere around, it was somewhere around here. Just say it was right here. Our stop loss was up here above the high. So let's just say 30 pips. So if entry was 150, let's go to 350. Actually 20 pips. Entry is 150. So let's say in this scenario, entry 136.150, stop loss 136.350. So risk is 20 pips. That means I could use a 0.04 per 1,000 is a 1% risk on 1,000. 1% risk. So when I go to enter this trade, and has 3 take profits, right? What am I supposed to do? That's for another video to do for 3 take profits. But really quick, what I can do is I can do something called twin trading, where I put in 2 positions. If I do that, what would I have to do? A 0.04 divided by 2. So that means I'd only be able to do a 0.02 per entry, with 2 entries with total of 0.04 for 1% risk. Now we told ourselves we're going to risk 3% on every trade that we do. This like I said, that's an example. It's up to you what you want to risk. I'm just using that as an example. This isn't me telling you you have to do 3% on every trade. None of that. This is just for an example, 3% risk. So let's say we have $30 to risk with a 20 pip stop loss. Well, this is where pips come into play, and pip knowledge comes into play as well. We know that a 0.01 to a 0.09 is equal to what? 10 cents per pip. We know the 0.10 to the 0.90 is equal to $1 per pip. What range would we have to be in if we have 20 pip stop loss going to risk $30? Obviously, this range right here, the 0.10 to the $0.90 pip range. So if we have 20 pips to risk, all we have to do is we take 30, right? 30. So we have 30 pips, $30 to lose. We divide that by 20, and I get the number. Let's just write this down. I take 30, I divide by 20 pips, right? Divide by 20, and I get 1.5. Now that 1.5 number is the dollar amount per pip that I can risk on this trade. So if 0.10 is $1, what would 1.5 be equal to our position size? That would be a 0.15 position size on the contract, right? So that means on this trade, I can type in for a 3% risk on my $1,000, I can use a total of 0.15 for that 3% risk. I'm not going in there and I'm not putting a standard lot on there, which is a 1.00. I'm not going in there and saying, a 0.50 because I want to get money quick, I want to get money fast. The smartest way of trading, and I'm telling you this just from experience, is to always follow risk management for every trade. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you take every single trade, if you take most trades, even with a couple losers, still have a more probable cause, more probability of coming out on top and profiting. So let's just go back, 0.15 total position size. Now we can divide that by three total positions if we want to. But if we do that, if you decide to do that, you have to do a 0.05 per entry. 3 total entries at 0.05 equals 0.15 total position size on that contract, on that pair, right? So a better word for this would be contract/pair. So let's just say we do 1 entry, 0.15 total position size on the pair. And we write it down, boom, take profit hit, 30 pips. So 30 times 1.5 would be about $45. So in this one trade, that went 30 pips, it was an actual trade on Swipetrades from last night, would have made, and again, trading involves risk. Past results don't guarantee future profits, but would have been a $45 trade following this 3% risk. Now, $45 on the $1,000 account is a 4.5% growth. Just put that into perspective. When you go to a bank or anything, are they giving you 4.5%? And this is only just one trade. So what I want to get into next is why it's important to always follow this on every single trade. Always follow. You have to make up in your mind, what risk do I want to risk on my account, whether it's $500, $1,000, whether it's $10,000, $20,000, what do I want to risk per trade? I'm going to stick with that same percent risk on every single trade. Why? Because check this out. If we had a $1,000 account and I did 3% on every trade, 1,000 times 0.03, right, is $30. So I can risk $30 per every trade. I gauge to all my stops. What do I want to do to stop? My average stop loss, right? 20 pips, 30 pips, 40 pips, 50 pips. Let's just say the average stop loss is 30 pips. We go at average of 30 pips. So that means if an average stop loss is 30 pips, right? That means I have the probable cause of gaining, right? Let's say Swipetrades does, and I'm going to lowball it here. Let's just say we do 600 pips in a month. That's really lowballing. 600 pips in a month, 150 pips a week. Even if I do 600 profiting pips a month times that $1, because I'm risking, if the average stop loss is 30 pips, that means I can risk, right, $1 per pip. If I get 600 pips profit in a month times $1 would equal what? $600 a month. Again, not a guarantee. If I catch every trade following the same risk on every single trade. This is why it's such a powerful tool. You can't come in there and say, oh, I have a $1,000 account and I saw my friend take $1,000 or $10,000, putting standard lots on there, because what if you catch the one trade out of, let's say, Swipes does really well. A lot of trades are hitting, a lot of trades are winning. And that one trade that goes wrong, you decide to risk more than 3%. Let's say you do 10 or 20, and it ends up being that one loser. Well, you just lost that, and then now you're down more than you should have been initially. Rather than staying patient in the game, staying patient, waiting on a month basis every 4 weeks, just taking it month by month, not taking it day by day, taking it month by month, following the same risk on every single trade. Guys, I promise you, it's going to take you so far. We just lowballed it. 30 pips average risk per trade, 3% low risk on every single trade on a $1,000 account. Let's say the average stop loss in the whole entire month was 30 pips. It's different per trade, as this one can be 20, ones can be 40, ones can be 50, so on and so forth. But let's just say we even lowballed it, 600 pips profit for a month times $1, still $600 a month. Past results do not guarantee future profit. It's not a guarantee. But again, just using this as an example, guys, it's going to be very, very powerful. This is going to take your Swipetrades profits to the next level. I can promise you that, guys. So with that being said, I'm signing off here with this another video for you all. More to come. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, guys. And I love you guys so much. Thank you.